Today we're going to go to Beverley Market, my wife's favourite market. Now, when I checked the car yesterday, we had 88% range, which means that we could technically get there and back, but I doubt that. Anyway, coming to the car this morning, we've actually only got 83 miles range now, and I imagine that's because it was been -1 degree. It's just starting to warm up now, getting a bit better. Welcome to Warner's Wheeling About. Just me messing around in my wheelchair and my cars. One of the problems that I've got is my Mini Connect app isn't working. When I picked up the car in December, there was a problem. Apparently BMW central system, it's affected a lot of Minis, I was told, but it's still not working, so I'm unable to precondition the car, which allows you from your phone app to turn on the battery, turn on the car, so the battery gets pre-warmed, which potentially gives you a longer range, plus it allows you to warm up the cabin ready for your departure. So I've just got in the car and I'm freezing cold. Obviously the battery's cold, so I've just started. Well, you don't start electric cars, do you? You switch them on. So I've just switched on the car, and I'm presuming that will precondition the battery while I sit here waiting for my wife. I planned the trip while I was in bed last night. A comment from one of my viewers was to use ZapMap. So I've downloaded ZapMap and I've subscribed to the premium version so that I can use it on Apple CarPlay, and I've put the route in and it shows me all the charge points and it looks really good. So I'm going to try this out today for the first time. You add the details of your car into the app and then it can predict what likely range you're going to have and help you plan the route. Now, like I said, potentially we do have enough range to get there and back, but I don't think so. So we're going to need to get a charge along the way, and this map shows you all the potential places you could stop. So I think what is probably most sensible is to get all the way to Beverley, and then once we're in Beverley, find a place near the market. Now, what I like about this app is it gives you a lot of detail, and in my circumstances there are pictures of the chargers, so I can also see which chargers are most likely to be wheelchair accessible or not. So I've been through the various choices, and there's Aldi and Tesco's, and Tesco's have got a pod point which looks quite accessible. So let's see if that lives up to expectations. It's also showing you what variety of chargers they've got there and what the prices are and whether or not they are working or not. I'm not sure how up to date this is, but it's good information, isn't it? There's also, if you're a member, you can chat and you can comment about the charge points as well, share information with other members, so that's good as well. Now, one of the drawbacks that I'm finding with electric cars is the winter weather. Obviously they are compromised in the cold weather in terms of the range, and also in terms of like this morning, I've got frosty windows, my back window is frosty, my mirrors, and the only way that's going to clear is by using quite a lot of energy. Now, I believe the Mini has a heat pump which subsidises that energy drain a bit, but at the same time, if I was in my petrol car sitting here for a couple of minutes with the engine running, then it would be very easy and quick to defrost everything. So that is a disadvantage and something that I've got to get used to. So as you can see, folks, it's quite foggy. This is quite an adventure today for us new EV folk. We're we're going into long range mode all the way to Beverley and back. We've got 87 miles on the charge now, so it's gone up from 83 when I got in the car, but it's still not going to be enough to get there and back, even though mathematically it is. So we've set up the Zap map and we've got Tesco's pod point programmed, so let's go. Well, that's a surprise. The range has suddenly dropped to 65 miles from 83 because we've got the climate control on and the heated seat. So let's see what happens. Okay, I've just taken a bit of a detour because we have a new EV station here. Look, not open yet, but very promising looking. 150 kilowatt chargers. The Mini will only work on a 50 kilowatt charger, so we can't take advantage of that. Fast Clean Energy, MFG, Motor Fuel Group. Well done, Motor Fuel Group. I'm not sure why it's not open yet. But, anyway, so let's get back to our journey.
Then arrive at your destination.
Okay, so I'll look for the charger unit. Oh, here the chargers.
Arrive.
Okay, well, we've arrived at Tesco's in Beverley and there's a couple of vacant spaces for charging, but what I've got to figure out is which chargers are which, because there's 50 kilowatt high speed charger, which I think is 27p per kilowatt, and then there's a 22 kilowatt charger, which I think might be free, I don't know. But the problem I've got is if I park in the 22 kilowatt space, then there's no room next to my car to get my wheelchair in and out if somebody parks next to me. But if I park in the parking space for the high-speed charger, then they've got hash lines space next to the car, so it makes more sense perhaps for me to park there and pay the 27p. So just checking that out, let's see how that goes. Looking at the instructions, plug in the cable and select the pod app and then confirm the charge. So this is my cable. Which one is it? Okay, so that's the bit that goes, which is the bit that goes in the car. That's the bit that goes in here. I put one brake on because one of my viewers, who's a health equipment engineer, explained to me that by having both brakes on, there's a good chance I could tip out of the wheelchair, but by only having one brake on, then the torque makes the wheelchair turn sideways as opposed to just falling over like I did yesterday. Okay, so we've got this bit plugged in. Next bit is to get this one plugged in. So Judging by this, these are going to get scratched up pretty quickly. If I use them anyway. Right, I'm going to just move my wheelchair back a bit. Okay, doesn't look strong to me, but okay. Yeah, that was quite difficult to push the plug in a wheelchair because the momentum pushes you backwards. So yeah, it's not simple, but I'm getting used to it. Oh my dog. This is the market. Oh, I can smell the roast carvery.
Hey, sir.
All right.
You're right, you okay?
Okay, well that was a complete waste of time. We've come back and there's no charge. It's been about 2 hours. I don't know, the last pod point we used was easy, worked well, the one at Lidl. This one, we thought we'd done it correctly, we followed the instructions. It was flashing like it was charging, so we assumed that was working, but clearly it didn't. So very complicated. Every single machine I've used so far has been different. It's like a pack of cards. Okay, well things are not going according to plan. We've got 45 miles of range. We're 41 miles from home. So technically we could make it, but it's a bit tight for my liking. So once we cross over the Humber Bridge, we get to Barton. There's a Lidl there with a charger. So let's try that. Okay, we've made it to Lidl in Barton with a range of 29 miles left, although that's 32%. This time my partner's doing the charging because I'm exhausted from my escapade so far today. Well, things are getting more complicated. We plugged in the car and then it says go to the PodPoint app. I go to the PodPoint app, Barton, and it shows my location, but it doesn't show a PodPoint charger. It does show a PodPoint charger at Tesco's, which is on the other side of town. So we'll have to abort Pod Point in Lidl and head over to Tesco's. Doesn't get any easier, does it? This is a screenshot from the Pod Point app, and as you can see, my location there at Lidl, but no charger showing up. The only charger in Barton showing up is this Tesco Superstore. Once again at Tesco's, there's several different types of charger. The first one I parked at looked like it was a 7-watt charger, and that's going to take a while. So I've driven all around the car park to get to the other side of the chargers where it looks like there's a rapid charger. I'm not quite sure, but we're just checking. So it looks like this one's initiated okay. So we're going to settle down and get a cup of coffee and see how it goes. It's been a disappointing day so far, with the Tesco's in Beverley being a fail, and then driving to Lidl in Barton, and that one not even appearing on the Pod Point app, so we couldn't use that one either. Anyway, let's see how this one goes. Now we're in a curious position. We're on 56% and we can't unplug the charger. According to the Pod Point app, how to unplug your car, it says when you want to finish, unplug the EV and it will automatically disconnect from the charger. But my partner's tried to unplug the EV, the Mini, and the plug won't come out. So we're struggling a bit here to know what to do. This really is a world of pain, this EV charging thing. Why are they all so different and complicated? We called Pod Point, the telephone number on the app, and they were quite quick to answer. We were in the queue, only second in the queue. And when they answered, she asked me for the location and the name of the charger. I explained the problem that we had, and she said, okay, lock and unlock your car 4 times. So we did that, and then we were able to unplug the cable from the EV. And when I asked her what happened, she said sometimes if the car is locked or unlocked, when you try to unplug the charger, in an instant of a second, the two things happen at the same time, then it goes into like a emergency mode, and to prevent damage or theft or something, I suppose. So anyway, it worked. So we're on about 58%, and we're going to head home. At least it was free. So we made it home quite easily, and we've still got a range of 22 miles. Well, it was a great day out. We had a wonderful time at Beverley Market. 2 fails and 1 win, all part of the learning curve. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe and share. And if you've got any comments, leave them below. See you in the next one. Bye.